welcome back to Uncle Fezzi's Mad Lab. Well, Uncle Fezzi's still building his railing. So, because every problem now has a 3D printing solution, I figured I'd cover this part first, because, you know, why not, right? One of the things that I already don't like about this system is the way that these adjustable posts go together. I'm gonna set this one aside for just a second here. Well, that's one of the fucking problems right there. This stuff is very well packed. And I still like the system, but I think this needs to be addressed just as a little weirdness to me. I mean, maybe I'm just an idiot. Well, that's not out of the realm. But one of the things that came across here with this particular project, and this is kind of my fault. Ooh, nice aluminum shavings to get into my fingers. They cut this with a cold saw. The cuts are very nice, everything's straight. I got no complaints that way. All that's fine. But one of the things I'm not super crazy about is, well, let's face facts. I like to, you know, I screw a lot of things up. And I joke about it a lot here, but why do something once when you can do it 3 times? Well, this is set up to only do it once, and I don't like that. So these are the bases. Now the bases, and I'm not actually going to do it because you better be damn sure that this is what you want to do when you do it, are friction fit. Yeah, and this is the way it's designed. Okay, this is the way this thing is designed. I can't even get it in there without really making the decision to do so. Okay, there we go. I'm not going to stick it in any more than that. So, the way these things work, and again, this is fascinating. It's an excellent idea. I really kind of like it a little bit. I'm just not too crazy about this one single part here. Is these are designed to be hammered into position. There's a draft on these, okay, because these are cast, so there's a draft on this. Whoop. My cup of coffee is destined to go get spilled again. There's no greater sin than spilling a perfectly good brand new cup of coffee. So these are designed to be hammered together and probably glued, which is fine. I'm okay with that. But you better be damn fucking sure you got these things exactly where you want them. Period. No questions asked. Because they mount in place with these giant anchors. I love these giant anchors. Kind of. So the way it works is, we're going to assume for a second that this is our concrete pad. My hand here, right? You set your posts. You drill your holes. You put the anchor in, or you put this plate down. You pick where you want it to be. Okay, because this is ingenious. Don't get me wrong, this is ingenious. I'm not complaining. I'm just pointing this out because I didn't actually watch the videos. I didn't watch all the videos. So, okay, there we go. There's a little window on the bottom of this thing. Okay? And then on the bottom of here is cast in what the pitch is. So 1 and 24, 1 and 24, 1 and 12, 1 and 8, 1 and 8, 1 and 12, 1 and 12. Okay? So you can adjust these as necessary to change the pitch to change the pitch here, or the angle, really, to make sure they're plumb. So if you were mounting this on a ramp or something like that, you would be able to change the pitch of the posts. I ordered these because I ordered this particular one. Now the other ones are set up for vertical installation only. I ordered these because I'm putting these on those ungodly expensive stone steppers. Now, those steppers were $1,000 a piece. Now, that's $1,000 a piece installed. They were $800 a piece if I ruin one, and then I got to figure out how to move the thing because they weigh, ironically enough, 800 pounds, give or take a little bit. So you better be damn well sure that you have these things mounted exactly where you want them. Well, if you have to hammer these things together, oh, so that's the other thing. So once you get this set the way you want it, okay, you put the bolt down on top of it, and that, my friends, is it. So you better be damn well sure that this is exactly the way you want it before you hammer this and glue this to this. I don't operate that way. It's just not my MO, and I chipped that one, motherfuck. Oh well. These were perfect when they came out of the box. That was chipped by me. So this is a little problematic for me. Now, because every problem now has a 3D printing solution, I came up with a solution to my problem. And my problem is I want to assemble this railing as much as I possibly can, put it in position, and make sure it is exactly the way management around here wants it. Then I want to drill and mark the holes. Because I'm dealing with these precast concrete steppers, it's got to be right the first time. And not for nothing, the steps aren't right. So, and it's not the people who installed the steps, it's just the nature of the steps. They settle, they move, they've been in place for almost a year, so they settled a little bit, but they're still going to settle a little bit more. I'm probably rushing it by putting the railing in now, but I wanted it to sit for a year before I put the railing in. So, what did I do? Well, I went into Fusion and I mapped the inside of the pipe here, this extrusion, and I made this. And this fits on the inside here to act as, this works, I swear it does. Okay. So, to act as a drilling template, right? Well, then it dawned on me when I did it that this isn't going to work because these are, well, first of all, they're adjustable, but more importantly, these are considerably thicker than this, right? So the height would be wrong. So I went back into Fusion and I made these. Now these are two pieces. That was kind of a screw up on my part. I should have made them out of one piece. What I really should have done was got fancy and made them adjustable. I didn't want to get that fancy. I could have done that though. I just didn't feel like geometry is the tool of the devil for me, so I didn't feel like doing it that way. So I made two pieces. I actually already broke one because this lip is really thin. And this will also act as a drilling guide. These are designed to be, these are printed in extra draft, and that's it. I mean, so, but they are the same height from here to here and from here to here. They don't look it, but they are. They're within 1/16 of an inch of the final height of these. So, what you could do is slide these in. I swear they fit. Okay. Now, ta-da! We have a base. We have a base and we have a drilling template. So I'm going to assemble the entire railing, sans bases. And then I'm going to put the railing in place with these bases. Maybe I'll hot glue these down, the spinster's friend, or I could put double-sided tape on the back of them. So once the railing is exactly where I want it to be, and all the angles are set, I can pull this off, okay? And then this will be in position for when I put the railing, so for when I put it together. They're a little bit of a... So therein lies the next quandary, or the next issue. The railing is designed to be built from the base up. So I'm going to have to put the railing together using these as my base, as where I, as my guides to show where I want to mark, like these are going to be my drilling guides. I'm going to assemble the railing ahead of time, go up, plop the railing down. These are going to be where they want to be. I'll pull the railing off, boink, and then I can drill these, install these so they're nice and level and straight and everything. Then I have to take the railing back apart because the railing is built from the base up. Now I understand that in a perfect world, that is the way to do it. But I don't live in a perfect world. I live in reality. And reality tells me that nothing is ever perfect from the base to the top, period. Hard stop. So, that's the way I'm going to have to do that. So it's not a huge deal. It's not a major issue. It just seems to me like it's a tad bit of an oversight. It's one of those things that if you don't do this every single day for a living, it's something that could be absolutely daunting. So this would be this is a little bit of a shout out to Promenaid that maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to sell or offer drilling templates. These I 3D printed these. They cost pennies to make. And as a matter of fact, if you already had the CAD file where these were available, you already have the available CAD file for these. So to have these printed out, and you wouldn't have to pay for injection molding CAD. You wouldn't have to pay for. They wouldn't have to pay for injection molding. They could be 3D printed. They could be printed. They could be offered as an up and an extra. I mean, not for nothing. I would have probably paid $10. This mount was $50. I would have probably paid $60 if it. I would have paid $10 for one of these. Absolutely 5 without question. 10. I probably wouldn't even have thought about it. I would have ordered them anyway. I've ordered less. I've ordered dumber shit for $10. And if these were adjustable, they would be even better. Again, I didn't make them. I didn't make mine adjustable, but they don't have to be. They literally could print out something that's even remotely like this, or have them injection molded. I mean, that's the other option. You have them injection molded out of cheap ass plastic. They don't need to be. They literally are once and done. The other thing is they should put like a little on the outside here. There should be a mark. Now on the instructions it does show putting a mark on it, so a little pencil mark probably wouldn't kill them, or it wouldn't be an issue. Like a pencil mark on this isn't going to be the end of the day, but a bump and a bump to show clocked at 0 would be that would be a little bit more ideal. You don't have to put the markings on the outside, but just like a witness mark, which I'm going to do. I'm going to get my my black magic marker here, or a pencil mark, probably black magic marker, and just put a dot right at 0 and 0, because they are really tight adjustments. So they need to kind of be, to move one a little tiny bit out of whack is obviously going to happen. And to have these available as a throwaway template piece for, like I said, a DIY guy, somebody like me, somebody who needs to put the entire railing together and put it in place before I make the final decision on whether or where I'm going to drill the holes, because I don't care who the hell you are. You can mark those holes all day long, but it only takes a split second to fuck that hole up, or one tiny little mismeasurement, and you're done. You've ruined your hole. And there isn't a whole lot of give in these either. These are pretty tight. These are 5/8, and that hole's 5/8. Well, a little bit over 5/8. So there isn't a whole lot of wiggle room in this part for a misalignment. Now, I like things to be adjustable, and that's why I like the Promenaid Railing, because it is infinitely adjustable. Those two pieces are not what I would consider infinitely adjustable. The other thing is, I should probably pull the camera in a little bit more, but I'm going to, I did get my key part. Okay, so this is the C32 bend that I needed, or the 32-degree bend that I needed to finish this. I'm not super crazy about the way the arc is. Not super crazy about it. I'll live with it. It's not. It's very difficult. The stairs I gave, the rise and run on the stairs, just like everything else I do, is a little weird. So yeah, it is what it is. But one of the things that was a little fiddly right away for me is I was a little confused about how it went together. Again, I didn't go on and watch the videos. I do have a design, a build sheet they call it, or a shop drawing. So I had a little trouble at first, but now I figured it out. I'm good to go. I actually do need to kind of mark these. So I'm going to show how they go, how the other half goes together. I haven't tried this yet, so this could be fun. So the other nice thing is with these bases, I can just set this aside over here and don't have to worry about it tipping over or rolling away, which it's going to do in a second because it's now on an uneven surface. Okay, so the way it works is you have these expansion, these are expansion joints, basically. Now, I was a little befuddled by these at first because it didn't make any sense to me. Well, that's because I screwed up. Shocking, right? So when I took the first one apart, I didn't pay attention to what I was doing. I've been a little distracted lately. My little buddy's not doing well. She's sick. So there's a series of pieces that have to be put together in order, and it's on the instructions here. So it's a 14 and a 5, but these have to go in first. So what I had done was I accidentally, and these have like a cup in them. This is a goofy one. This is for the bend. It doesn't matter. Nice. This is something to point out. This is a nice point of note. The vast majority of the hardware is all the same, right? So they all take the same screw. They all take the same Allen head, and they all take the same Oreo. So the way these work is you put your Oreo on here and line it up. Yeah, actually, there's a finial here. That's why I don't have caps on my teeth. All right, so this has a gasket, and then there's this piece here, and that goes on there like that. And it says in the instructions, you know, make sure all your bumps line up, make sure all your little holes line up, and they do. Okay, so there's actually two sets of holes here. There's the big ones and then the little ones. And the little ones line up perfectly, but so do the big ones. So you kind of have to keep an eye on that. Then you put the bolt in, and then, and this is where I made the mistake, you have to thread the bolt in, or you thread the nut in, and then push the nut into the hole, okay? So I didn't do that the first time, I just left it like that. And then I tightened it up, and I couldn't figure out why it wouldn't tighten up, because I'm a dimwit, right? Well, that Archimedes dude was really smart, and that has to go in there like that. Then you tighten the bolt up. But not too much, because as you tighten the nut, you're drawing this up and and spreading it out, creating a wedge to hold it into position. So that goes in there like that. I'm actually going to pull that off there for a second. So that goes in there like that, just like that. And then you tighten up the nut to spread the wedge out. And you kind of got to push down on it a little bit to get it to seat properly, because it doesn't draw down, it spreads out, and I don't want to do that too tight. So the joint there is a little sloppy at first. You can jiggle it and wiggle it around a little and get it to tighten up a little bit nicer. The other thing I had a little bit of an issue with, and we're going to see if it happens again, is I had a little bit of trouble getting these to go into position. 14. So we want to put this one in first. I had a little trouble with these. Okay, now it actually looks like it's working right now. So you got to put, it's hard to do this on camera. I'm going to put that in. It helps if you have all your stuff laid out ahead of time. I intentionally didn't do that because I didn't want to. None of this shit's marked, right? And I don't want to lose those little nipples. Even though I do have a 3D printer, I can now replicate them. I don't want to lose them. So that goes in there. Now this one goes in here. And then the other thing you got to be mindful of is there's a little wedge on the end of this. But so the wedge actually wants to go on the outside. On the outside of one and then on the inside of another. And then drop this piece on. Like that. Drop a screw in the hole. The one other nice thing is if it doesn't go together right away, like if it doesn't fall together, you're doing it wrong. The pieces literally should just fall together. If the pieces fall together, you're doing it right. If you have to fight with it in any way, you're doing it wrong. I promise you. If you have to fight with them, if you have to fight with these pieces, you are building it wrong. It's something that you're doing, because they all want, if everything is perfect, if all the stars have aligned the way they're supposed to, if all of the pieces have aligned the way they're supposed to, then this should just fall together. Now, I am going to put this together, but I'm actually going to have to take it apart. That is a nice thing about this project, or these parts, or this system here, is it's pretty simple to take apart. So if for whatever reason I needed to disassemble this at a later date, I could do that. If I need to adjust it at a later date, you know, because of the settling and everything I was talking about, I can do that. It's infinitely adjustable. So the way these work is you have to put them in like this. They go in to the railing like that, and then again that Archimedes dude, right? So then they spread out. So you have to put them in like that, okay? And then so this goes up inside the railing, which I don't have over here. I'll show it when I do the final assembly. And then that goes on like that. Shwink. And in this particular case, it wants to go like that because that's the railing itself. Now, like I said, I'm just kind of putting these all together right now as a, I'll be honest with you, just ease of carrying parts, because I have to take these up to the, what do you call it? But that's it, right? So now the railing goes in here, but I don't have the railing here. All right. I'll put the rest of these together off camera. And then it's getting late in the day and it's been rainy and shitty here all day. So tomorrow we're going to hopefully pop these on the bottom. Rough the railing together a little bit more. And then set the railing in, and then we're going to drill the holes. Well, there you go. I should probably glue these together. I glued one together because I broke it. I might just glue these together. These don't need to be two pieces. They were two pieces because when I printed the first batch, I didn't take into consideration the thickness, so I made these spacers to go with it. I think I am going to glue them together. But all the holes line up. I was really proud of myself. There we go. That's that. Well, there you go.